Oh, it's bath time. Bath time, bath time, bath time. Okay. Thanks for the bath. Thank goodness she can't reach her butt, huh? What are you doing? Oh, what you doing? What are you doing? Silly girl, silly girl, silly girl, silly girl, silly girl, silly girl. Go on, go. Okay. Hey, gang, what is happening? We got Willie, Bill, and Max. How's everybody doing? Yeah, quick little glimpse of Miss Bell. That's her usual spots right there on my lap. Howdy, Mr. Fisher. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Come here. Come here. Come here. We're not going to start that. Come here. Got a noisy dog. There's Miss Zippo, everybody. Come here. Come on, get up. Come here. Well, I hope this isn't going to be a full of barking. Like stream. Come here. Come here. Come here. No. Maybe it will be. A lot of wind going on here too, Max. We've had some pretty high gusts. Fortunately, no power outages to speak of. Okay, crap, Red Wolf. Why crap? Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. You have to be quiet. We're on the TV. See? Can you see right there? We're on the TV. You have to be quiet. I am so ready for spring, Mike. So ready. Oh no, Willie's carport tent. Well, good thing you do have a warranty. Hopefully it covers wind. Oh wow. Brother Brian, Ozengay Simplicity. Has to be up 1 a.m. to go into work. He's been working his tail off. I hope he gets a break soon. Boneyard, howdy. Sorry, I missed your hello. So howdy, how are you? Miss Zippo went home sideways in her repaired car this evening. She couldn't really test out the steering because she was constantly countering from the wind. Wind has been coming from the west. Mr. Wild Bill, howdy. Howdy, only the best Cub Cadets. Howdy, John O'Donnell. It's good to see you here. There's Brother Joe. Howdy, Brother Joe. 84 work hours a week through March. Wow. That's rough. Howdy, it's always Rusty. All right, let's see here. You're in the house. Wait a minute, John. Well, backdoor guests are best, I guess. Did I leave the back door open? Should I? You gonna be coming up the stairs here in a minute? Lost 2 trees, but they were coming down in the springtime anyway. Hope they didn't hit anything, Max. I'm surprised I haven't lost more than what I've lost. I've just lost branches. Mr. Thiel made it again this week. 2 weeks in a row. He stayed awake. I have a noisy dog on my lap. Howdy. Oh, I'm glad you like that, Mike. I figured, why not? I had to go through it anyway. It come to find out I had already gone through it. But yeah, I had already rebuilt it. So it got rebuilt twice. Second time's freebie. Red Wolf, howdy. So, anybody do anything exciting this weekend? Anybody at all? Do anything exciting this weekend? Miss Zippo and I, except for going to the Walmarts on Saturday when it was very, very busy. Had a hard time even finding a parking spot and a cart. We just hibernated, watched movies, and cooked meals. One-eyed shooter, howdy, howdy. What'd you get, one-eyed? Got the head fixed on 725. Good deal, Red Wolf. Good deal, good deal. And Mike, the tractor guy, make sure there isn't anything else you can think of before I send this box out. Made a British car happy for now. Made a British car. Did I miss something, Willie? Oh, your MG dual carb. I didn't see the video, but I saw the. I got a notification for it. I didn't have a chance to watch it. Is it an MG or MGB? Everybody needs to find a flail mower, Red Wolf. That's one of those diamonds in the rough. That's one of those hard things to find. Sent me a message earlier. I haven't had time to get to it. Probably. I think it's a 1960 Suburban. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I did reply. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I didn't. Did I? Maybe I didn't. What engine is powering the Suburban? Yes, I did, Willie. Try to make a head gasket, Red Wolf, or make a head? Do I have an original throttle cable? I have one original set of throttle cables that I have a home for, unfortunately. Let me see if I don't have a half of a throttle cable set. I may be able to finish building that and put a new cable on one end. I think I have a half of one. So let me check, Mike. Let me put that on my list while I'm thinking about it right now. Yeah, Red Wolf, you're going to have a hard time finding a flail mower for the simplicities, unless you're not. I assume that's what you're wanting to use it for. Let me get this down here. Throttle and choke cables. Oh, no, wait. Mike, you're talking about the pie shape, the single. This, what's it for? Remind me what it's for. If it's the single that's on the half pie that swings like this, I don't have any of those. I have the dual throttle cables for the 64 to 68 models. Throttle and choke cables. I put it in here anyway. Yeah, finding a flail mower is going to be, yeah, that would probably be your best bet, Red Wolf. Or find a Mott's that you can adapt to it. Find a Mott's flail mower that you can adapt to it. Am I a part of Small Engine Nation? You are wondering how to join. I don't believe I am. Get with Doug Sweener on YouTube and ask him what that's all about. I'm not really sure what that's all about. But yeah, Red Wolf, you can. I know that amounts can be made for them. I have a dog that's really aggravating me here. I've only been on for 9 minutes. I'll quit. I want to work on your Yazoo. The pie shape. Yeah, I don't. Well, if you have the pie and the arm, you can just go get a cable. It takes a standard cable. Mr. Weasel, Sir Weasel's in the house. Zippo. Carb videos are great. Yours works great. So you leave it alone. That's a rarity. Yeah, you can make the mounts. I don't see why not, Red Wolf. I don't see why not at all. RC fan, I have not seen you in a long time. Starting your engines up on a regular 3-week basis all winter, waiting on warm weather to do oil changes, air filter, blades, etc. Yep, I've got to do that to Ugly Alice and Winnie the Pooh lawn, and plus all the other jobs that I've got lined up and waiting. But we did get some things done. I just didn't videotape it. So I've got some of the jobs out of the way. Now, there's an Easter egg in the room somewhere. There is something new in the room. Wait and see who can find it and point it out and try to guess what it is. There is something new in view. Love it when my neighbor, Mr. Fisher, comes in. He says, "Howdy, Zippo," and then just sits back and watches for the rest of the video. Glenn, well, don't bother saying hi to me. Did you already? Yeah, the B1 you're gonna. No, Mike, your best bet on that. It's a tiny little thing. It's not very big at all. Go to Click It and Stick It, and email them. Ask Nathan or Corey if they can send you a decal, just the decal. Tell them Zippo sent you, and then you can just make. It's just a piece of plate steel that sticker is stuck to. It's just black and white, but it's much smaller than what would be on the next generation, on Gen 2 Alice Chalmers. The alarm clock has been here. Alarm clock has been here for quite some time. Mr. Welding, howdy, 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 howdy. You see something egg-shaped? No clue. That is actually an egg, and it has been here for a while. That's my alligator. That's been there for a while. Something from last week that was not here. None of the toolbox was here. Whatever the thing next to the Coke bottle is. It's always rusty. Ding, 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 ding. You're the winner. The Coke bottle was new last week, Brother Joe. It's either the bottle of Coke or the motorcycle on the rack over to my left shoulder. It looks like a motorcycle. It's not a motorcycle. I'll show you what it is. It's actually a functioning 4-cycle engine. That is a 4-cycle Model RC airplane engine. And there's the make and model number. And it is a Gen 2, second generation. I've got a whole box full of those things, and I figured I'm just going to bring one in since we talk engines all the time, and I'm going to stick one up on the shelf. And I might bring some more in. I can't, if I no, not right now, Mr. Welding. Daddy want? Daddy want? Yeah, it's kind of hard to see as far back as it is, but you guys just saw it a little closer there. I've got a whole mess of them. That engine right there is about a $250 engine. That mind-boggling, and it won't even power a tractor. Do I have something to put it in? I do not. I do not. Can't kill me, brother. How are you? As long as it's the choke that flows, not for the nose. Accidentally fired a Traxxas 2.5 on WD-40 in your room. Yeah, they'll fire on just about anything. That's a funny thing about them. Yeah. You gotta be careful what you're cleaning them with. Actually, they call it nitro, but they run on diesel. But yeah. Can't kill me. He's looking for a part. Hang on. I got a bunch of them in here. Which one do you need? I've got big parts. I've got little parts. Oh, I've even got springs. I got a spring. You want a spring? Got screws. There's a spring. Mr. Green, and Dano's Toolbox. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Everybody say hello to Miss Zippo. She's lurking in the background. Lurking in the background, lurking in the background. You can't think of anything else. So I'm safe to ship whenever I get the chance. Okay, Mike. I've got that to ship, and I also have something for Not Too Fast for You to See to get out this week, too. So. What is the part number for the air filter foam element on a 23D? I can't pull it out of my hat, but I can sure look it up. Miss Zippo, people are saying hello. Give me just a second, guys. I'm going to pull a file up here. Hang on. I know you guys are looking at me. You can use the paper filters with them as well as the foam air filters. The foam air filters, you just want to be sure that they have the center core support. The new ones, they do come with a plastic one. So item number 535. Let me get down to it. 535, 535, 535. Your part number for the air filter is 270093. Again, 270093. That wasn't too bad. I found that one pretty easy. Mr. Cherry made it in the house. Trying to fix a starter generator that will not charge and a 5-pin key harness. You're welcome, Mr. Welding. Thank you, Mr. Presley. Good days and bad. I'm gonna try to bump up my procedure so that I can get it done sooner than later. All right, can't kill me. How do you know it's not charging? Because it may be the voltage regulator. Mike the Tractor Guy. I saw a guy on YouTube today that actually made a cylinder head for a mower engine out of JB Weld and got it to run. Ever hear of Project Farm? Yeah, I've heard of Project Farm. Yep. Yeah. He does a lot of pretty interesting videos. He's got a glass head engine and stuff like that he does things on. And he's not been at it for very long, but he's very good at what he does. He compares a bunch of different things too. Like compares different oils, different additives, using different, just a bunch of crazy stuff, but some very helpful and very useful and interesting stuff. Okay, can't kill me, quite simply. Put the starter generator in a vise, take it off of the engine, put it in a vise, put power to the gen side with the chassis grounded, get it up to full speed, and then take the positive cable off of the gen side and stick it on the field side. Don't let it touch anything else but the field post. If that starter generator comes to a stop like somebody put the brakes on it, the starter generator is fine and it's your regulator. Not charging over 12.8. All right. Well, that may very well be your regulator, did you flash the regulator? You have to touch the battery and the gen terminal together with a jumper wire and what's called flashing or gouging the whole system so they'll communicate with one another. I've got videos on it. Oh, it did. How about that? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Or outrageous acts of science. Well, nothing I do is an outrageous act of science. I don't know, but some bodily functions might be outrageous acts of, well, that would be biology. That's a type of science, right? Mr. Schleiner, how are you, sir? We had somebody earlier asking about the small engine nation and how do you join? Maybe they can chime in. Well, you have to do that, can't kill me. You have to do that to flash the starter gen. And I don't know why there's a fuse in line anyway. There doesn't need to be a fuse in line on that. That one right here. Oh, you mean this Zippo? But can't kill me. You don't need a fuse in line on there. The regulator acts as your breaker relay. Boneyard Garage asked about Small Engine Nation. Just a group of you guys that get together, or what is it? But can't kill me. Take the fuse out of the scenario. You don't need it in there. Do not have that fuse in your charging system. Your relay itself will take care of, as long as it's wired right, and I do have a wiring video also. You don't need a fuse in that system. The voltage regulator itself acts as a breaker relay. 12.45, 12.53. Okay, Ellis Welding, it should be 14, should charge at 14.4 volts. So if your voltage regulator is not doing what it's supposed to do, you won't charge. Make sure there's no draw on anything at all on the engine or on the rest of the electrical system. No lights are on, nothing is creating a draw. If you have a battery ignition, that may be creating enough of a draw that you're only charging 12.45, 12.53. That would be great, Papa Doug. Go ahead and do that. Howdy, Lars. Howdy, Lars. There's what Joe said, something about the belt being tight. Make sure the belt's tight. But back to LS Welding. You should be charging. It's cut on, cut off. Should be almost dead at 14.4 volts. So if it is not, I would try flashing the regulator like I described. And I assume that you are talking about a starter generator system with a regulator. Flash generator, terminals, battery to generator on the regulator, little jumper wire. Just touch them. You're going to get a spark. Don't worry about the spark. The engine may even turn over, so make sure it's in neutral. Give me just a second, Lars. I'll let you know. But make sure you're in neutral. Just touch the wires. Doesn't even have to be for a second. Just touch them. Expect a spark. You're not going to get shocked. Expect the starter generator to turn. So keep your fingers out of the way. But that will marry the starter generator to the regulator. Start it back up and try it again. Also, your amp meter, if you have an amp meter in line on it, sometimes the amp meters go bad and then your voltage won't transmit through the amp meter. So you need to check that as well. My opinion on grasshoppers, if you can find one, get it. There's nothing on them that can't be repaired or replaced, and you're not going to pay as high a prices for parts as you would for that silly green stuff, that silly green and yellow stuff. And I've got some videos on doing Kohler to overhead cam Kohler to Briggs Vanguard swap on a grasshopper that I did. Oh, you're welcome, Lars. Yeah, they're great machines. They're great machines. Bob Hop, thank you very much. I've got 27 people in and only 10 thumbs ups. Yeah, if it's got green paint on it, it's going to cost you way too much. Way too much. Give Miss Zippo a thumbs up, guys. Hit that thumbs up for me. Mama Sweener's in the house. Do we have Papa Sweener and Mama Sweener at the same time? All right, it's reading that one, not running, but same one running. You do have a starter generator and you have it wired up with the battery ignition. Your amp gauge is stuck because the tractor sat for about 20 years. Bypass the amp meter. In other words, all it is just a pass. It's passive. So you've got your plus and minus on the back of the amp meter. That doesn't mean you hook a positive and a negative. It's just passive. Your hot side comes in one side and then it delivers out back to the battery on the other side. Just connect those two wires together and then do your charging test again, because that's not charging anywhere near enough. If you've got battery ignition and the starter generator is more than a 10 amp starter generator, it should be charging the battery without any problem at all, with excess voltage to burn. Thank you, Papa Doug. Jeremy, how did Miss Zippo's SUV turn out? And tell Miss Zippo howdy. You can tell Miss Zippo howdy yourself, Jeremy. She's in the house. She's watching everything that's going on there. The amp gauge only registers 10 amps, but you can put as much as most of them are 24 amp starter generators. That's how they came out of the factory for the small engines, is right around 24 amps. Typically, your charging is regulated through your regulator at the amperage and the 14.4 volts. So don't sweat what your amp gauge says. You can get amp gauges that go. It's probably a S&W amp gauge. You can get them that go anywhere from 5 max, 10 max, 15 max, 20 max, 30 max. But the standard ones that were put in the tractors, they typically just went up to 10. So that really doesn't have a whole lot of bearing. 10 amps is way more than what the tractor is going to use under normal circumstances, which is why that was the amperage they put in them. Let me get caught up here. Miss Zippo. A lot of people saying hello, and Jeremy wants to know, how did your SUV turn out? It all went back together. Brillo track dumpsters. No, sir. I have not. Miss Zippo must be busy doing something like making herself a snack. We just had a light dinner around 5 o'clock this evening before she went home. Thank you, Papa Doug. I had my buddy that does all of my decals and stickers and all that stuff. I had him make up the banner for me when I decided to move the office. Of course, we had Chris Major made this sign for me and sent it to me. Let you guys see this Coke bottle here. Somebody sent this to me anonymously. Thought that was pretty cool. I've had that for some time. And then the Simplicity banners that are up there were actually made for somebody else. And I said, you know what, those are pretty cool. I'd like to have a few extras. So grab those, put those up here. Here's your answer, Lars, about the Miss Zippo's trip home. Or was it Lars? Was it Lars? Was it Lars? I think. I'm having to read back, guys. Hang on just a second. Oh, it was Jeremy. Jeremy Thiel asked how the ride was. Jeremy, Miss Zippo answered. Not Lars. Okay. Oh, just, yeah, it wasn't you. Yep. Mr. Jonathan. Hey, everybody. Jonathan W. in the house. Better late than never. Glad you can make it. You must have been out on a run, my good friend. You run the one riding mower and generator. Love you, Mama. Be safe. Be careful. Take care of Papa. Okay, Ellis Welding. I took my multimeter and touched straight to the terminals on the generator, and it's reading like 1.5 to 2. Yeah, you can't go directly to the starter generator to test. You have to go through the voltage regulator in order for you to test it. Yeah, can't. It just will not work. It has to have the voltage regulator in order for you to be able to test it. Best way to do it is do the bypass across the amp meter, like I said. Start the engine, flash, or before you start the engine, flash your regulator. Like I said, just a little jumper wire between battery post and generator on the regulator itself. Do the bypass on your amp meter so that you've just got a solid wire going all the way through. Start the engine and test directly at your battery. Just check your battery posts. They will tell you if you are charging or not charging. That's the end result, and that's where you want the power ultimately to be. So that's the easiest way to do it. Another way that you can do it, even on a really generic front, is to just take a test light and touch one to negative, one to positive on the battery, rev the engine up and down, and the light will brighten and dim a little bit if you're charging. Do my batteries a favor and pick up a battery tender for the wintertime. Exactly right, Mr. RC. Yes, exactly right. Hey, no problem, Jonathan. It's great to have you here. Zippo, been busy. See, you're still at it. I am, Mr. Powers. I am. Meant to say that you use the cheapos from Harbor. Use the one of your choice. I think they're $4.99 each. Whoa. What I miss? Thank you, RC, for the thumbs up. Mr. Willie, if voltage is low, there's a service manual to adjust the regulator. Is there? No. And they're really touchy, so you have to be really careful when you're adjusting them. And there are 2-post and 3-post regulators, depending on which one you have. There's a process. And as far as a service bulletin, you might be able to find a service bulletin online on adjusting them that wasn't intended for general public eyes. Wink, wink, you might be able to find one. So that's welding. Yeah, I'm thinking about the points in the regulator too might be corroded. I have a regulator cleaning video going through regulators, LS welding, that may be to your liking. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I've still got something for the hardware store too, Jonathan. Email me. Mr. Power, Jonathan, see you last video on the new motor mounts. Yeah, I like the way that he did the new motor mounts, and also how he's going to lower the panhard bar and get it squared away. Mr. Miller, Mr. Miller. And then the transmission mount, as well as the gussets in the frame. And yeah, I'm following along on that build, and he's really thinking it completely through, doing a much better job than I could ever do. All right, we're at 35.5 minutes. We'll let her run till about 40 minutes, and we'll go ahead and cut her off. A lot of people seem to think that that's a pretty good length of time to go. So do we have any last minute questions? Anybody wants to ask? This has been pretty much a big old charging discussion on starter generators. And we can thank Can't Kill Me for that. That started the conversation out for that. So it has carried on. I didn't blow away today because I didn't go outside today. I would have. Willie Cook, your 2012 doesn't like AGM. Battery amp meter does not go positive till after I run a few minutes and doesn't go over 13 volts. No big deal, but I'll take a look online. I don't have any trouble with AGMs. I've been running AGMs in, are you talking about AGM battery or AGM type battery amp meter? I've been using AGM batteries for many, many years. There's so little draw on starting these engines up that they don't need to charge for a long time. One-eyed shooter Danny Anderson, how difficult is it going to be to find a motor for that Suburban, do you think? Okay, Danny, what engine is it? Is it a Tecumseh or an Onan or a Briggs? Any videos upcoming for my 64? Ellis Welding, if you have a request, I can put up videos. I have a number of 64s I can put videos up on. RC, it's a pleasure. I have not seen you in quite some time. I'm glad to see that you're still hanging out and hanging in there. Take care, my friend. We'll talk to you soon. I'm not going to build a mud mower, Mr. Sweener. I have my Simplicity tractors, and my Simplicity tractors, as Ozengay Simplicity can attest to, will not stop in mud. I've not gotten them stuck. So they are my mud mowers. Like tractor guy going to ask me when you run your carbs in the ultrasonic cleaner, how long of a cycle do you run and what temp? 55 degrees centigrade, because that's what my sonic cleaner doesn't have Fahrenheit, so 55 degrees, and usually for about 20 minutes, and I use a very mild solution of 50-50 of awesome, LA's totally awesome, and water. And then I thoroughly rinse them, blow them out, let them air dry, clean anything that the ultrasonic cleaner didn't get, but most of the time it gets everything. How's the weather? It's cold and very windy. It's not super cold. Brother Joe, it's great to see you. I love you, brother. You be safe. Lars, thanks, Jonathan, for your response. Looking forward to more hardware store. No mentoring. Zippo could mentor a young person too. I could, if I could get a young pup to stick around long enough. That would be great to have the help. Ellis Welding, you'd like to see how to change the output shaft seal on the 23D. They're actually pretty easy. 4 bolts on the plate. Just go ahead and take the plate off. You can knock the seal out from the inside. You're not going to screw anything up. Take the plate off, knock the seal out from the inside, and then I usually just take a socket that's just slightly smaller than the seal and tap the new seal in, put the plate back on, make sure you bolt it up where it says top, bolt it back on, and you're done. Really, really easy. Just make sure that when you put it back on the crankshaft that you don't roll the seal and lose the spring in the seal. They're really easy, but if you would like a video on it, I can certainly put it on the list of things to do. We just hit the 40-minute mark. I'm going to catch up with what we've got here and then call it a night. So we've got Ryan Brest. Hey, Zippo, recently built an Alzheimer's B10 for your kids. The videos were a big help. Glad you found me on YouTube. Thanks. Ryan, I'm glad you found me too. And if you want to stop by every Sunday at 8 p.m. my time, please do. Try to get here every Sunday. Hard to find young ones interested. That's my problem around here, Jonathan. That's, yeah, you've got a good one in Noah, that's for sure. Glenn, if the motor mounts for their, look, they bounce their like 6 short. Okay. Bill Seltzer, the landlord 10W30 in it before I got it. And I know you're supposed to use a non-detergent oil in there so you can just drain the oil and put that oil and suppose that, yes, that will be fine, Bill. Willie, kind sir, always a staple in the chats. While Bill will see you, always Rusty, we will see you. Tim, we will see you. Max, thank you. Boneyard, we'll see you. Lars, good night. Miss Papa Sweener, good night. Everybody, thank you very, very much. Love all of you guys. Had a great show tonight. A lot of electronics being talking about. Jeremy, shoot me a message over on Facebook. You know how to get a hold of me. We'll talk over there about your intake. Sir Weasel, Mike, Welding, Troll, Bill, Jeremy, Glenn, David, Pete. Good night, everybody. We'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out of here.